I don't know what the number they'll say is. If they don't go first, we're going to say 400 million. So they better watch out.
Go, Pop.
Welcome to the Smart Nonsense Podcast, where we talk about entrepreneurship, self-development, and challenging norms.
See ya.
Yeah. I'm blocking because there's
Don't
a lot
block,
of...
Pop. Don't block. Let's kick it right off.
Let me tell you.
Let's kick it right off, baby.
I'll kick you right off this podcast because I don't need you anymore. It's not like you just had the pitch of a fucking century, baby. Yes.
Wow,
yes,
Pop.
dude.
Logging into my Twitter
from the
account,
dead.
sending pitches as me.
Dude, that's all I do. I was thinking about putting a little dash Henry Belcaster or Henry after, but I just like the way she sit in Twitter
You
right
got
now.
it.
She sits real nice.
Don't know
Hey,
what we're
what's going
talking
on?
about? Subscribe.
Context?
How about that?
Yeah, you should have been here the last couple episodes. You know what's going on. But I barely do. Haven't gotten much sleep, but it's for a reason. Here's why. Here's the context, boys and girls. A couple days ago, and by a couple days ago, probably a week ago, we got a DM from this man named Alex Lieberman. We gave context on the last episode, but fuck it. Context 2.0. He DM'd us because he saw this Trung viral edit that was funny as shit. Here it is. Belky's also going to stop me from swearing. That's something I'm working on.
Mm-hmm.
It was really funny. So he sees that. He's like, I want that. I have a brand. It's called Morning Brew. I was going to say Barstool Barista or something. What is his name? Business Barista? Morning Brew. It's a giant newsletter, like 3 million followers, probably the biggest for our age type ambitious people. He wants to now get into video. Hence clipped. So we get to talking. We do an overnight edit that blows his mind as well as his co-founder, Austin Reef, who saw it once he sent it to him. They're both like, this is exciting. We want more. The problem is this. Austin has some sort of personal matter, and he's been taking some time off. And Lieberman, it sounds like he's going to Colorado to fucking prance like a little mountain lion in the snowpack. We can't deal with that. We got a business to sell. So
And to run, apparently.
I missed the real context. Fuck, I missed the like, why are we so excited? Okay. This is where they
Wait,
fucked
can
up.
I gotta get something off my chest, Pop.
Get it
I
off.
gotta get something off
More
because
weight.
I'm laughing to myself. I can't even listen to you. I'm thinking of the Chris D'Elia reacting to the Dave Grohl clip when Dave Grohl says he only signs things for charity, and Chris goes, Gandhi, Mother Teresa.
Gandhi.
Gandhi. Mother Teresa.
All right, we'll
Mother
roll it.
Teresa.
We can carry on. Sorry.
Hey, dude, I like how I'm slowly pushing you to the right. It's fucking awesome. It was
No,
lonely
you know what's
over
funny?
here.
You know what's funny is, I don't know. There's nothing about Chris D'Elia that's that conservative. He's
No,
a pretty straight dude. He just
They
has
just
right
hear
Chris.
a name and they're triggered. That's it. It's like you gotta get behind the man. Same thing with Joe Rogan. He's a beast. So, where did Morning Brew fuck up? Particularly Austin Reef. We're looking at you, Austin. Alex too. Because Alex sent the video that we made overnight, blew his mind. He sent it to Austin. Austin's gut
You fucked
initial reaction, right in line with wow, is let's Acquihire them.
AQUA.
You cannot Acquihire clipped, or at least expect us to not take it seriously. That is not a passing joke.
It was in quotes
You're
too.
at clipped.
It was. That means it was stated.
Stated verbatim.
Verbatim.
If you're not on YouTube seeing these texts, you're only getting half the context. So we
Don't
got
do that
teased.
to us.
That was
You
a little
don't-
like,
yeah,
hey,
you don't.
hey, you want to make love? And then they go prancing off. And I'm like, we're going to chase you. We're going to chase you because I'm horny. So what do we do?
Don't
Dude,
even get me started. Dude,
You can't go from 6 years to living with the girl. So So, I don't even know. How do we transition? They're like prancing around. And so we've just been brewing. We're brewing. We're like, okay, this is the first time someone seriously has ever said, like, let's acquire you. Before
Right.
we've heard, like, oh, let's invest in you. And that was kind of like an in passing, like, oh, how do we get involved? Pretty serious thing. But we're like, yo, we're not taking money. Unless it's all the money.
Unless it's all the money.
That we'll consider. So we're like, two things. Hey, sorry, I like talking.
Say
I mean,
'em.
you get to talk in the pitches.
Say 'em. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
This is my time to shine.
This is your moment. I'm here to be a set of ears because you don't talk to many people.
No, dude, I actually I haven't. This week I haven't.
That was beautiful.
I just blew up all the people I'm talking to, which is virtually over text. I hit everybody at like 6:30 this morning. I was like, guys, watch this live stream. Like, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
It's a picture of a plane landing, and you're like, what the fuck kind of live stream is this? It's just this dude right by Heathrow Airport. All he's got is a camera strapped, and he's just like, here comes an airplane. Oh no, it's really windy. I wonder if he's gonna land. Oh, woo! And the plane lands. And it's like, wow, dude. And there's like 230,000 people on this stream, and we're all just watching it because there's like gale force winds at Heathrow in London, and it's just fucking. It's a roller coaster. You're like, oh my god, is the Titanic gonna hit this iceberg, or is it gonna save itself? And the fucking craziest one was Qatar Airlines, Qatar. I don't know how you pronounce it. That shit, Airbus 380, A380, it's coming in. It's the fat whale of a plane. And it's like, I thought fat was good because like the air pushes hard. So it's like, oh, it's steady. It's inertia.
Inertia.
But no, dude, you don't want that because you got like 500 bodies on that plane and they're all nervous. They're all fucking going around. So this guy, he doesn't want to kill everybody. He comes in, he swoops, he gets a little speed wobble. And here's the thing, okay? If you're gonna bail on a landing, you'd think they just jet off. But this fucking Airbus is so big, it can't just like jet off. I thought the thing was gonna stall out. It like peels up and goes fucking straight vertical like it's a Blue Angel. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm about to watch 500 people die. Blue Angel Airbus. And fucking luckily that thing pulled through. And then it tried to do another pass, bailed on that pass. Third pass, it barely made it. It like bounced off. And I'm like, this shit is a riot, dude.
Wow.
So
Moral of the story,
that's
Pop.
my way of saying I
you
haven't
can't
talked
wake
to
up-
people.
You can't
Actually,
wake up
Slick
early
Rick's-
and you need to talk to people.
Slick Rick, his text to me. I send it to him this morning. I'm like, oh my God, watch this. 130,000 people watching 50-mile-an-hour winds. Planes trying to land live. He's like, don't get it. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Then I'm like, planes can hardly land. Nail biting. He says, you kidding? I say, no. He's like, most boring thing I've ever seen. I'm like, well, you know, it's not for everybody, but the people that like it love it.
Dude, I sent
that's what we
Slick my x-rays the other day to check him out. He said things look relatively normal. I'm like, there's no fucking way things look relatively normal.
Have you,
I'm
Slick thinks
cockeyed.
he looks normal. He's looking like, what's the guy from It's Always Sunny? Dude, he's like,
what's his Fred Davini.
No.
Fred Davino.
oh, Frank DeVito.
Frank DeVito. Danny DeVito. That's it.
Danny.
What was that
I think
book?
it's Frank in the show.
What was that book about groupthink like that? I think it was in Alchemy.
Asperger's?
No, not Asperger's. Where like if a group is saying shit like that out loud, you get to the answer faster.
Oh.
Something.
Well,
it was
no,
interesting.
I got something like this. I don't know if this is what you're talking about, but Google, how they do brainstorms. They don't have one person at the front of the room with the marker at the whiteboard writing down all the ideas as people say it. This is a totally different thing than what you're saying. But they're like, when we brainstorm, we just have everyone write sticky notes, and then they just stick it to the wall so it's all at once, and you don't have to wait for one writer, and it's kind of like a bottleneck. That's probably
Related-
not what you're talking about.
What do they say? Same point, different font.
Who says that? Google?
Anyway,
So, I don't get out much. We want to get Acquihire somewhere in that woozly
dude,
diddly.
here's why we need to get Acquihired.
Why
All right,
not?
I'm gonna
Why
take
not
the stage.
interrupt? It's been a while.
Why
dude.
not? Come on.
Dude, my neighbor.
We're looking at somebody like Sean Puri, right? We're looking right at him. He sold Bebo to someone. I don't know. It doesn't matter who he sold it to. Twitch. That's
Right.
who he sold it to. All right? Sometimes you just got to talk until it comes to you. Bebo was way more valuable
Wasn't
to Twitch.
there a book on that? On like groupthink and
Yeah, I think it was Alchemy. Yeah.
No, I'm joking. Fuck.
Oh. Fuck, you know.
Sorry, dude. You had momentum.
Bebo was way more valuable to Twitch than it was to Bebo themselves. So when we see
Right.
Acquihire, we're like, oh, Morning Brew's this big company. They want to be 10 times as big, 100 times as big. We hold the key to them getting there. We have the shortcut. We have the turnkey plug-and-play shortcut. We are more valuable to them. That's why we got really juiced up.
This is something where my brain just never wrapped its soggy little tissue around this idea. I never got to the point where it's like, oh, we're adding more value than we currently add to ourselves. As in,
No, you've
I'm
known
like,
that.
oh, how much? I don't know. It just didn't sink in. The idea, it's kind of like what we do with clips, and people get like, oh, they might get $10,000 of value from this $200 clip that we're making. So it's like, oh, they're totally getting a ton of value. It doesn't cost us anything. And you're like, you got to dissociate your time from your price. Like that's a constant agency idea that you want to kind of bake in your head.
Right, so in this
We
case,
started doing that.
we have to dissociate like our team, our direct input, our revenue this year, our business model with the value that these 35 of us could derive from Morning Brew.
Right.
They're not equal.
Right.
If we do 2 million in revenue this year, but we can grow Morning Brew's top line 100 million in revenue, it's like
Right.
we're talking about different
It's-
things. Fascinating.
It reminds me of when people get mad at CEO's salary, and it's like, oh, that CEO is making $40 million. It's like, yeah, but he's running a $40 billion company. He's like 1% better than the next guy. And what's that, 400 million? So it's like, holy shit, he just moved the needle 400 million for them for 1% better. So he's worth being paid that much. Point being, with all of this, I now realized, I'm like, in my head, I'm trying to rationalize how it could be worth a significant amount of money. I'm just thinking like, well, what's our team worth? And I'm like, well, we're about to do $1 million. We can get it up to 2 million. If you value the multiple at like 3x, they're not trying to buy us. That makes sense if they're trying to buy us as an agency and keep that intact and be like, oh,
good
keep
point.
selling what you're selling. But that's not the pitch. The pitch
Good
is,
point.
hey, we're running this as an agency with like 20 customers right now. Fuck all those customers. You're the customer. You are taking this team internal to you, and you can scale it infinitely with all your baked in beautiful stories that you just haven't
Wow.
been able to tell in video.
So that, unlike a traditional deal, this is like, to me, it's like there's no due diligence here. This either you see it as this valuable, and it's worth that to you, right? It's like, what would the process even be? You are absorbing the 35 of us and our brains and our talent, and it's like, if that's valuable, that's
Right.
it.
Yeah, it's
That's so interesting. Other than buying out an agency that's still going to run as an agency, then yeah, you got to talk about revenue and profit and your multiples.
well, that's when I was trying to give you like, oh, what's the scrap metal cost of our team? Like if you were trying to
value like at cost.
right, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. That's not what they care about. They don't care about clipped the business. We actually still want to run that when hopefully there's like some best of both worlds where they can have like this team, and maybe we help build it to some extent, but we can focus on clip too because we're still super excited about that and Ali Abdal and all those crazy opportunities. But
Well, yeah, that's another interesting one really quick is like what we've built right now, which was kind of Smart Nonsense Media coming to Clipped, incredibly valuable to Morning Brew. the future of Clipped, which is like this video editing platform, hire the world's best video editors, it's kind of a different beast. And that's not what Morning
Right.
Brew needs. Morning Brew
And
needs
this
the
is-
40 of us right now that are doing these crazy clips.
We kind of had this one concern where we gave an initial pitch over text to Alex Lieberman, the co-founder, like the chairman now. And we're like, hey, let's just start with you. We'll get like 1 or 2 editors on you. That's like $5,000 a month. Then we figure that out, scale it to all the newsletters. That's like, I don't know what we said. Or I don't know how many steps we had. 3?
Yeah, 20.
Then we
went
scale it to like 50,
just him.
50K.
Yeah.
And it's 20. And then after that, we're like full media brand, and who knows? It's like new opportunities, and it's just like infinite scale from there. But
How about we cut out 1 and 2? How about we cut them right out?
and forget all the numbers we use because we said $50,000, which is not.
Well, okay, but look, that's $50,000 a month for 20 editors, 20 teammates. That's because this would be agency selling to Morning Brew. But if you consume our entire team, now you get to use us for marketing, for ads, for clips, for podcasts.
Well, they probably
So-
could. It's just in house.
True.
Like right now, they
True.
have editors, but they're all in house, and that's kind of a natural feeling. Is like people don't like outsourcing things, especially if it's core to their business, and that's something we preach too. Is it's like, what is the business? Keep that inside, and then outsource everything else. This is going to be core to them because they're like, we tell stories and we distribute them, 1 in text written format and 2 in video and also audio. So since it's so core, it wants to be internal to them, and then they can really. It's not like they're not dependent on us, and maybe in a year we're dead. They know they have access to the team, and as long as they're alive, this will be alive. So it's a lot lower risk for them. All this to say, we're excited. We can see the path from right now. Call them 100 million. I guess they're probably valued at 100
Oh,
million.
here's
Maybe
another
they-
interesting thing. You're like,
Yeah.
they're going to do $40 million in revenue this year. How are we going to justify, they pay us $5 million or $20 million or $40 million? You're like, we're 10%. It's like, it's so beyond the bounds of what they're currently doing
Right.
that it has no relation. It's like, if we're going to 10x their business next year from 40 million to 400 million, because they can sell ads, they can do all these things, they can do short form, that's what we're talking about. It's not like money in the bank
Right.
they have right now.
Right. That's that's the way we're basically approaching it. Is okay. Say even we 3x your business, or 2x. Like this 2x is your business. Now you're 80 million in revenue. Almost all of that is profit because this team costs less than $1 million. Guess what? That's a $40 million in 1 year. Never mind valuing it at like 5-10 years.
Hey, don't do that to me, Pop. I wasn't even doing the yearly multiple beyond a 2x growth. Be careful
Right, and
with that,
that's assuming
Leon.
it doesn't keep growing.
We might need
That's
skin in the
assuming-
game, Pop. That's the
Remember when
only
you were
way.
I was like, they might not have enough cash to buy us. What if we took some
Find it.
equity? And you're like, Pop, you don't want to do this. And you're like, yeah, I don't give a shit about news.
Yeah, it's one of those like we just don't. How do you say this? It's like we didn't build Morning Brew. We don't care about Morning Brew.
Right.
We built this incredible team that we care dearly about.
I do. Here's what's interesting.
And we built Clipped that we care dearly about, and it's our
We'll get
it's
to
our duty
how we
to.
actually pitch them. But what's interesting is yesterday I was fucking at my lowest point in a while. Probably in like a month. Well, we've had a lot of lows, so that's probably it. If there wasn't the last month, it'd be my lowest point ever. But
This coming from the man who had ties his sexual arousal to clips. That's why
Right.
it was so low.
it was a fucking roller coaster. But today, I've been more aroused, and I'm like sleep deprived as fuck. But I'm just fucking sturdy, dude. I'm so excited about this again because I'm like I every now and again my hope wavers, but then it's just like Dylan. It's almost like someone watching a stock ticker, and it's like, oh, the stock went down. It's like, dude, it went down for like 2 hours. It went right back up, and it's on this trajectory that's going to the moon. And you're getting upset for a day, and then you, Belky, long-term guy, is like, dude, it's a hiccup. And I'm like, dude, they're never gonna buy us with this edit.
It was a bad edit. It wasn't a bad edit. It was just a quick. You can't tie your sexual arousal to edits, Pop. That's
I
the
try and
problem.
tie it to other things. I got a lot of things I tie it to, thank God. But I don't know. Where do we go? Okay.
Lazy River?
We
or-
want to sell this bitch, right? Not necessarily. We don't want to, but we realize this is something we haven't dipped our toes in. We're like, let's just give it a shot, see what happens. We have no idea what might come about it.
Oh,
and
it's
then we could
it's a
shift our focus
fiduciary.
completely to
It's a
clips.
fiduciary duty kind of deal.
Oh.
Fiduciary duty, right? It is our
ourselves.
duty for stability
To the
to the team. It's our fiduciary duty, yes, to ourselves as founders. It is our fiduciary duty to kind of the new chapter of Clipped, the platform, which we haven't really started building yet.
Right.
It's
That's
a
good point.
fidouche.
It is a fidouche. Because you know what I almost tweeted this morning? Startups. I might after this.
Fidouche.
Douche. It's a fiduciary duty to sell
Just
clips,
doing
dude.
our
Dude,
fiduciary duties today.
Dude, that's the thing. When do you grow out of being a child? I don't think you do. I think some people just pretend to be adults.
Sean texted us the other day. Did business tear you two apart? I was like, no, dude. Stronger than ever. We just giggle all day. It's like this all day, and we somehow build things that are valuable. Fidouche.
That's what's funny is all our friends only see the giggling and they don't see the value. And then they just hear about the value. That's why I don't want to tell them whatever happens with this. I want to be secret forever. And they just like
company
20
too,
years
Pop.
from now.
No one thinks we do
Nobody-
anything all day.
They just hear, I think they care about Fidouche, but he sleeps all day. What could he
Fidouche,
be doing?
dude. Here's what you got to do. Have fun. Make money. Do good. That's what you got to do. I forget who said it.
My last one was going to be fuck pussy. Sorry, dude. I'm
Come
sorry,
on.
dude. Here's the thing. In my
Shut
head,
it
I'm like,
down.
is this...
Why?
No, dude.
Tourette's?
No,
Like-
dude. No, dude. I just see the letters in my head, and I'm like, would this be funny out loud? And then I say it, and I'm like, no, dude, that's not funny out loud.
No, it wasn't.
Hey, you know what I wanted to put out loud this morning? No, dude. What I
Oh
wanted
my
to put
God.
out, I wanted to put out startups are a Ponzi scheme. You know why? Because I look at our bank account right now, and I'm like, there's a decent amount of money right there. But then I look at the money coming in versus going out, and I'm like, there's more money going out. That then means we're trying to sell Clipped to either Ali Abdal and his little army part-time YouTuber Academy students or Morning Brew just to make sure this bleeding out doesn't fuck us. It's like the Tinder swindler. It's like he runs out of money, so he's going to find a new girl, get her credit cards. And then when he runs out of money there, he finds a new girl. And I'm like, I think this only works we get out of the Ponzi scheme if Morning Brew buys us.
Right, that's
But,
the fiduciary duty is like, as a bootstrapped company, we have no funding. We have no future, we have no burn, we have, like nothing. The fiduciary duty is to like squash that money in, money out problem
The extinguisher,
and
dude.
have just like, oh, what was that, back to back? You run around, you run around the company
Slash and
with
burn.
a flamethrower, and I'm just on your back. We're tied to each other, and I've just got an extinguisher, a
Dude,
little
you ever see,
stinky water extinguisher.
You ever read Freak the Mighty?
No.
Oh, dude, hold on. It's this actually doesn't really make any sense.
Why should
What?
it? Why
We
should
read it. We read it in like middle school, and
Oh yeah, I read that.
yeah, it's just like the little kid. I guess he's not strapped to his back. Actually, how about this? Did you see the Yoda? Was it Baby
Careful with
Yoda?
your history here, Pop.
Dude. Is Baby Yoda strapped? Maybe that.
You just see
it's
like how to
something
make
like
a
this,
bomb.
But why did I get here?
Were we not recording that whole time?
No. We're good. I just hit stop instead of end screen share.
Oh,
So
thank God. Oh, thank God.
I know.
I'm like,
I
we're
was
putting out
sweating too.
heat.
I know, a lot of heat coming out of that fucking binky, but you got the extinguisher, so we're good too. We're safe. Okay. So,
Wait, no, and wait. The reason for that is you're like visionary one thing. You've been gone all week focusing on morning brew. I'm like, we've got 50 people. We need to run this company. Clients are asking for stuff. You got your flamethrower, I get it, but someone's got to extinguish these things.
we had one client earlier this week said they're really not happy with what's going on with their editor, which is rare, and I was confused. And then he said all the reasons why. It was like 4 days ago. And I'm just.
That's on red?
That's on red. Yeah.
No, Pop.
No,
That's
we gotta
your
smell, dude.
fiduciary duty to
No, dude.
save him.
Fiduciary is you don't like it, go get.
I
the
just
best.
got an email. They were comparing us to someone else on price, and I'm like, let me see your clips, because I went and saw them. They're not good. They're just captions.
Yeah, dude.
So,
we don't,
and they're a minute. They're over 2 minutes. That's not what you want. He's like, we do the same price, but we get 120-second clips. I'm like, that's a shame. It's actually harder to make them shorter, so that's not what you want.
you buy a Super Bowl ad and it's 2 minutes long. You're like, I don't want to pay an extra $40 million. So, how about that fucking Super Bowl ad with Coinbase, with a little fucking QR code?
How about
I like
you
that
get
shit.
right back on track? How about that?
You try, giddy up. All right. Yeah! Dude, how I was doing this
Was
morning
that
was
one
sound
of those
design.
you saw it spelled in your head and then just yelled it? You don't happen to mean here like these.
I
Because
just
you got
love,
Tourette's.
I love how it's only funny for me and half funny for you and no one else. It's fucking. Actually, they'll watch the clip, so maybe they'll pick up on the
It
Easter
depends
egg.
the time of day. If it's 9, 10, 11 p.m., I'm all in. All in for the
No,
Tourette's. Tomas
There's
hour.
actually a 20% chance we're not funny at all,
Oh,
and it's just like
20%? Dude, try 80.
80-20. I inverted. Yeah,
Try
you're probably
80.
right, dude. When we look back at our.
We fire shit off. We look back the next day and it's like, what? Who thought that was
hot,
funny? No, Pop. No.
I won't show nipple.
No. You've got
Dude,
Angel,
I'm in a
Pam,
sauna.
and
Oh.
Loxa editing this.
Dude, let me at least turn the heat off. Hey, can you give context? How do we
sorry.
go from Acquihire to deciding to do some sort of pitch or something? Where do we step into our fucking? This is how we.
Where
got
did we lose that? What tangent are we on?
Who?
Where were we?
Hey, one thing I want to tangent into really quick. This gets to like what makes us amazing and what I didn't realize. But what?
I hope it's not a fadouche comment coming next. This gets
Dude,
into
it's
what
about
makes
your
us
girlfriend.
amazing.
Yeah, dude. Fucking minx, dude. So, we're gonna be swingers.
Wait! Pop just learned what a swinger is, and he's all in.
Dude, swinging is like the bitch open relationship. It's just like, hey, I'm too scared to do open. How about we just like swap for a little?
You leave that
night
door
or two?
right open. Report
So,
back,
is that
Pop.
what that means? Hey, let me circle back. So your girlfriend, she's trying to find a job, right? And she's like, has some imposter syndrome feelings, which we all have. I still have them, even though we're like super successful. And she's just trying to get her first job out of college.
Even though we're like super successful, he says.
we're like super successful. Did I say that?
You said that.
Didn't we sell this company for? How much did we just sell for? Did we sell it yet? Oh, we didn't sell
Next episode is gonna be us in the trenches of our own company, fixing everything.
Dude, week to week, it's like literally yesterday. I'm like, I can probably move back into my mom's house, save a little money. For a bit.
Legit.
Almost every week, but it's fucking funny because I'm like, that's a riot, dude. Then I'm just gonna bounce back stronger than ever. So we're super successful, and Henry's girlfriend is trying to be as successful as we are. And so she's
So ridiculous.
There's Mischief, and somehow Belky was on Mischief's radar or something, and then Belky's dad, Wano, he saw Belky on Mischief's radar, and they had a job opening for general counsel for Mischief. And what Mischief is like a dope ass, I don't know what you call them, like a marketing company, like what do you
Viral. Well, they call themselves like an art company. But they do like viral marketing stunts.
It's dope. It's like, I mean, I don't know how much value it adds to the world, but it's like, it's just cool as shit. So he's like, oh, that sounds fun. I want to do something fun because he sees the hoot that we're having. He got hired, right? Yeah, he's fucking in it, right?
Yeah,
Is he in it right
there.
now? Like
He's
day
there.
to
He's
day?
coming here. He's wrapping up at the old company that's being sold. He's coming to Palm Springs for a week to find himself, and then he's like hardcore starting Mischief. But he's like
yeah,
part-time
Juan.
with him. Yeah.
So now the foot's in the door with Wano, and I guess Athena, Henry's girlfriend, hears about something at Mischief. I don't know. You know the
Juan
context.
sent this new role. Juan sent this new role for a shoe designer. I know the context, but I don't know where he's going.
Point being, yeah, I'll kind of. There's a lot more. There's more exciting shit later in the episode. So hang in there with us. If I didn't scare you with the fucking everything, so basically, what we're good at is getting our foot in the door. That we can do that with anyone, and I'm confident. Like, if you give us a chance, like we have the bare minimum skills just to like to be considered in any sort of degree, we would get that job. I have no doubt in the world. Granted, Belky, you're the one whose face is there. Probably if I had to shoot the videos and stuff, it'd be a flop.
Hey, you scripted him.
Not much to script there. But basically, it's really, that's our superpower. And so we started to do a little diffusion, osmosis into Athena of like, hey, here's how you might want to approach it. I say we, it's Henry doing this. But basically, do something crazy.
Quit trying to swing.
Hey, that was a nice video you had this morning. You want to give context? Like, what did you tell her?
That was
to
yesterday,
apply?
Pop. She comes to me. Didn't we talk about this? I don't know. She comes to me. She's like, my dad sends this. I'm like, for sure. Like, she loves Mischief. She always talks about these crazy ideas she has for Mischief. She's like, yeah, but I'm not a shoe designer. And I don't have the portfolio they're asking for. And I certainly don't have the experience. And I'm like, that's weird. I'm pretty sure you got a weekend. Like, build the portfolio.
Do you think I'm a world-class marketer? Because I certainly don't.
No. So it's like, you don't have the portfolio, but let's think about this. Who's going to apply? It's going to be a bunch of graphic artists and designers from the market. They work at Nike. They do logo design. They do whatever. They're just going to submit some generic-ass Notion Instagram portfolio. And then James, the guy at Mischief, is going to be left to decide, like, this person designed a bunch of, like, base camp soaps for this company. The packaging looks nice. But can they work how does that apply to
mean
Mischief?
for me?
What, right?
What's in it for me?
They're like, oh, that's a nice portfolio Batiste they did. I like how tropical.
I like how
It's
you're
doing
using
this.
references.
It means nothing.
Yeah, people just don't know. Like, they're happy. Our friend Brian, he's happy to fire off 500 of the same resumes and basically the same cover letter with no results. He's happy with that. Granted, he found a job in Cincinnati doing airplane things or whatever, but it's like, dude, I could get you a job at SpaceX this week. I know that could happen. I don't care. Your skills, they're enough. You're like fluid dynamics at Brown or whatever the fuck you studied. It's enough. Now it's all marketing. So how do we market you? Assuming they don't have like some coding test to get you in, or you just pass that, we can get you the job.
Which, we pitched
them on these ideas.
10% of jobs have like some technical assessment. It's all bullshit. It's soft skills.
But he could get through that anyway. So it's like soft skills
Right.
after that. That's our expertise. So I don't know the results. I know Athena got an interview with the CEO.
Gut. I
GUT,
think he's
right?
the COO. GUT. Yeah, they talked. It went well. She is missing like one technical part of the job that would be needed, which is like actually getting specs to a factory. I'm like, go do it. It's called a tech pack.
Figure it
For
out.
one of your shoes, make a tech pack.
Right.
How did anybody do it? So you,
and she
and
just
she's
hired
like-
Fiverr designers to do all this stuff, right?
right? So she's
get the
like,
sketches
she's
and-
telling me. I think we talked about this, but she's telling me, she's like, well, the Fiverr does. It's all this imposter syndrome, limiting belief. She's like, the Fiverr artists are so good, they should just get the job at Mischief. I'm like, no, they shouldn't, because they have no specific knowledge.
Right.
They're not creative. They're not comedians. They don't know how Mischief works. They don't like. Only you have that, and you're able to draw shoes, and you're able to outsource it to an artist. That makes
You're
you
the
one of
connector.
one.
Right. No one else can make those connections. That's why we come in and we're like, okay, we have the raw materials of amazing video editors, just the best in the world. Now it's a matter of how do we apply that in the right direction. And we think the best direction to apply it is this Morning Brew Acquihire. So like, okay, let's lean into our specialty. What do we know how to do? We know how to get attention and get people excited. We know how to sell people, basically. So we're like, actually, we don't know how to sell people. I don't know what we know anymore. We're going to see how this works. But basically, our idea is this. We're going to create a video telling them exactly why they need to buy Clipped. Okay, that is what?
And by
Tuesday?
by the way, that video, that device, shows exactly what we can do.
Right. Which is kind of the beauty. It's our specialty and also our business. So it's like it blends in nicely together. So this is our idea. Call it, I don't know. When do we have this? Maybe, what's today? Friday? Wednesday? I think we had it on Wednesday. And we just moved super fast with everything. So
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
okay.
Wednesday.
Oh, why did I think that? I remember this was like one of those one things where it's like, what is the one thing we should focus on? I'm like, oh, dude, if we got acquired, how many problems would that solve? All of them.
All of them.
One domino, all our problems solved. So we're like, okay, drop everything. At least I dropped everything. You kind of like extinguish some of the fires.
He's fire
and just focus on it. So how do we approach this? You got to think what we mentioned earlier, like, what's in it for me? If I'm Alex Lieberman, if I'm Austin Reef, what is in it for me? So basically the first thing I do, and this is like, it's kind
yeah.
of like my...
But really quick, that's what we're missing. For the people that send 500 resumes to people, put yourself in the Mischief guy's shoes. You get all those emails as a hiring manager. You already have your job to do. You don't want to read any of those.
Right.
And it's just a bunch of noise. They all look the same. All their cover letters look the same. It's like, what's in it for them? Put yourself in their shoes.
Right. And this is one of those, like, most people, they'd get this, like, oh, I'm going to buy you joke, send exactly what we sent, like, oh, here's what you could do to really ramp up Morning Brew, and send them, like, text or something basic. And
Or
it's like,
even worse, ask them to do something.
right, like, how can I
Like
help?
ask
It's like, what?
ask for an elaboration. Like, well, what kind of value? Or like, how could we? Yeah, like
It's so much better just to, you're the expert, right? Like, I watched a million of their videos because I wanted to understand them, their needs, their wants, their goals, everything. And now I'm the expert. One thing they said is like, I want you, if you're going to be a manager of Morning Brew, like someone high up in Morning Brew, tell me, teach me about what you do, your expertise, say it's marketing, in our case, video marketing. Teach me that. Show me the plan, what it looks like 3 months, 6 months, a year from now. And then I'm just on board. If I believe that you're the expert, do it. Fucking rip it. So that's what we want to do is like, we're the experts, buy us so you can instantly 10x your company with video. So that's what we do. I go into research mode. I don't know how much research you did, Belky, but I'm like, I'm going to watch
Dude,
5
bare
hours of
minimum.
their interviews.
bare minimum research from me, and then from you, I get the obscurest, the obscurest things they've put on the internet. I've never seen things that are so obscure. 76 views, 812 views. It's like nobody's watching this.
128er.
Hop watches them.
I'm
128er.
4%
Watch
of their
out.
views.
You know,
It's-
on videos like these with no views, We spill all the beans. If you
Right.
can find those 128 view videos, it's over.
Well, that's what's interesting is we have so much content out there. If someone wanted to sell us, they could go through they could just go through the last 5 pods. Granted,
Somebody
we
did
released
the
them
other
really
day.
late.
He DM'd me. He's like, heard y'all talking about web design and how yours is shit or something. I'm a UI web dev. And then he was like, not to get all meta here, but think of me like you guys a week ago before Ali Abdal. He like put it in terms of like what we're going through right now. And I was like, oh,
Right.
that makes complete sense. Okay.
It's-
he was like, you guys are Ali Abdal and I'm you a week ago. I'm like, okay.
Fucking no-brainer. I see it as we have
Left him
so
on
much
red.
content out there. Like now, there's no excuse. Before I could see it, say 30 years ago, it's hard to sell because you have a person, you just know they're the CEO of, call it Tesla. You're like, oh, they're the CEO of Tesla, and there's like a couple, or maybe it's not a big company, it's like a smaller tier company, but it's like you hardly know anything. Versus now, there are like hours and hours, dozens of hours, hundreds of hours of these 2 co-founders talking about their goals and their plans for the next year, 2 years, what they just sold for, what their goals are now that they don't have to worry about money as much. And we can understand them fully inside and out. It's like, okay, now that I understand you, Alex, now that I understand you, Austin, this is what you need. And here's how our expertise intertwines with it. So that's the mentality. I get a bunch of fucking random ass quotes, and we come up with a plan. Basically, their plan. We actually copied Wano in his Belcaster brilliance there, and he's like, "Your words, my actions," whatever the fuck it was, something like that. And so it's like they had basically a 3-step plan to grow.
That's actually, that's a great device.
Framework.
You said this. Yeah, you said this.
Really?
It's like, what's in it for me? You said this. You're either trying to do that or you aren't doing it. We're going to come in and show you what we can do.
Well, this problem solved what your fear was, where we're telling them what they should do to grow. And you're like, dude, I don't want to tell them what they want to do because maybe they object to that. They never hear our solution if they don't agree with the problem. It's like, oh, no, this is what you said the problem is.
What I said is like,
We're feeding you the solution.
imagine they're running a company. So imagine they're sitting in a boardroom with their board and their investors and their shareholders, and they've laid out the 5-year plan for whatever. And then we're going to come in with this clip and give them another different plan on top of that they
Right.
now have to consider enacting. Or, it has the objection or cognitive dissonance, like they've decided to do this other thing. It's like, no, just take what they said they're going to do in all your due diligence and then give them a better solution.
And that was what was so cool is
It was
I think
2
it must
word
have been
difference.
your idea. You're like, hey, let's just take their actual snippets, what they literally said, and I'm gonna voice over it, and we're gonna mash them together.
Your plan, our action. 1, connect. You said people resonate more with people than brands.
So it's like, you said this, and it's literally clips from some obscure podcast that they're on. I'm like, oh my God, did they go through the archive? And we do this for all their main points on how they grow. And it's such a beautiful
You
video
can't
and how it
object.
meshes together.
You can't object.
So
It's if you object, then, well, you said it.
I'm just trying to think our other like strategy coming into it. Is there anything other than just like figure out what they want and give it to them?
No, that was it. Our other strategy was like, if we took one thing from kind of something like never split the difference, and we're talking about valuation and stuff, it's like, we don't know what this is worth. We were at one point we're like, well, like you said, scrap metal, all of us, our team, we're worth maybe $1 million, $2 million. But it's like, wait, let's put the ball in their court. Let's tell them the plan. Let's get a number from them first. Let's see where they're at first. Because this might be a $200 million play to them, right? And we're going to anchor the conversation. So it was like, let's give them everything, but then not do anything specific about
Right.
price and details. And
This was actually my accidental negotiating strategy with Todd, our first client from Smart Nonsense. This is actually pre-Henry. I came in, and I didn't really know what I could charge. I'm just like, well, before I was making like $4 or $5 grand a month. Now I have an editor or 2. I should probably be able to charge more than that. And so I come in as Todd, and I'm like, I give him this nice pitch, And I also sent him a PDF before. It was too long in retrospect. I think it was like 4 pages or something. It should really just be a 1-pager. Just fucking hammer it. You can consolidate anything. And he's like, all right, well, what were you making before? My first thought was like, okay, that doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. And I was like, I told him I'm like 4,500 a month or something, but that's pretty irrelevant. This is kind of like the future pitch. He's like, okay, well, it seems like it's like 6,000. I'm like, 6,000? Like, yeah, it seems like 6,000. I'm like, Todd, I don't think we're talking about the same scale. Did you see all the content that we're gonna make? And he's like, yeah, you're right. How about 10,000 and a bonus if you make extra content? It's like, that was literally his second. His first one was 6. His second one was 10. I'm like, dude, you realize that is literally doubling my take-home profit.
You severed input and output right there.
Severed. So same idea here. Sever it. And if they come back and they're like, okay, yeah, we'll buy you for $6 million. It's like, $6 million? Like, yeah, well.
Also, by the way, that's better than if we anchored it $1 million, say.
Right.
Right? It's like,
I don't know what the number they'll say is. If they don't go first, we're gonna say 400 million. So they better watch out. But they say 6 million, and then it's like same thing I told Todd. It's like $6 million. Are we looking at the same scale? Because we can take Morning Brew, actually 10x it. Like, oh, yeah, you're right. If you can 10x our company, and all we have to pay is 5% of that growth, that's worth it in a heartbeat. But guess what? That's $20 million, $40 million, whatever it is. So we'll see if that actually works. But
they're gonna have to fundraise, Pop. They're gonna have to figure that one right out.
I'll take some fucking equity in it, in addition to some cash. I don't need much
cash. No, you won't.
Dude.
Give me some clipped equity.
So, okay, we'll keep pushing through here. So basically, that's our mentality coming in. We're like, let's just show them exactly what they'd get. So we create the video. I'm like, let's overnight this. Belky shoots it. We also one like little thing. We're just always funny. Like we try and be funny, or like try and be not normal. We're not necessarily funny, but we try to be like just goofy. And like the last scene, we'll play the clip. Maybe I won't spoil it. Actually, just watch. But we make the video goofy. Fuck it. We'll just play the video. Shit. Not yet.
But it's also, I don't know how we're going to roll it, because you got to listen to it. I don't know if we're going to release it or what. We can at least roll this part of it here. What this shows, the ending.
I want to talk about the first edit, the V1.
Well, can we talk about why the ending is so ridiculous?
Okay. Do you want to roll the clip?
I don't know. Now I'm confused.
No. I don't want to roll the clip till we talk about the first version.
Okay.
Just,
don't roll the clip.
Yeah. Remember.
Don't roll the clip.
So we want to do this overnight. One mistake we made. Actually, maybe it's not a mistake in retrospect. I don't know what it was. But
it's expectations. It's out of whack expectations.
Well, we try to find an available editor, like our best or most trusted available editor. We found one. We actually had 2. We thought it was for redundancy. But then like, oh, those 2 editors are going to work together on this project. But the person that we know least is going to be the one heading it. And now we have this massive pitch all riding on this one editor. And keep in mind, like hours before we told Lieberman, hey, we're going to hit you with something tomorrow. Like be on the lookout. So now there's that pressure, which maybe we shouldn't have said that looking back.
Well,
but
no, it's
we also
so
wanted to
important.
keep them kind of engaged.
Yeah. It's so important because it clues them into the fact that like, we didn't take 2 weeks to do this. Oh, you got my same water bottle for Valentine's Day. Britta? We got lots of those in here, Pop. We got 2 of those. Look at this. They're nice.
Would you look at that?
Huh.
Yeah, they're nice.
You got to tell him, like, we're going to get this to you tomorrow so that he knows, like, part of our pitch is speed overnight. Our team is all in the Eastern Hemisphere. Like, that's part of the pitch.
That's what blew his mind to start.
Yeah.
So we want to blow it again. And that's why we teased it. Now, we basically have this one dude, Bob. And Bob the builder has the complete pressure of this building. And we don't have a good foundation.
That's not like a Jane Doe fake name. It's just Bob.
No, Bob Doc Doe.
Bob's
dude.
ripping.
Try and find him. So a lot of pressure, but we're like, okay, he's working with Coy, who was our most trusted editor. They'll figure it out. What happens? Basically, we go to bed, and this is just one of our, hey, fingers crossed, we'll see what happens. Wake up in the morning, and we get this.
Oh, put yourself in Bob's shoes, too. It's like, we dropped a bomb late in the day overnight edit.
Right.
It's
right.
like-
Oh, and you couldn't get the footage up because you shot in 4K by accident, and it was like a million
yeah,
gigabytes.
it
And you have no
terrible.
Wi-Fi. So it was
Roll
it was
it! Alex! Austin! We're so sick of the Wall Street Journal and their boring Uncle News. We want to build Morning Brew into $1 billion media brand. Hey! We rolled it, all right? Thanks,
So-
Angel.
Here's the thing. We're anchored expectation, like happiness is expectations minus reality. Our expectations were really high. Wait, no, reality minus expectations. Fuck, I always mess that up. Our expectations were really high. That means reality has to be really, really high if we're going to be happy, which is dangerous. Very dangerous if you're Bob Docto. What happens is, and we're also trying to do a relatively new style he hasn't done before. It's just a lot of pressure on him. And he's also bearing the brunt of it because Koi's just helping with certain things that aren't super, super helpful necessarily. Like it's hard to collaborate, basically. So it's all on his shoulders. He comes up with something that just doesn't wow. You saw the beginning of it. It's like, this isn't going to sell a $40 million company. No way in hell. That's when we have a panic attack. Because we basically told Alex Lieberman, we're like, hey, be on the lookout because tomorrow we're hitting you with something. And we can't hit him with this piece of, I don't want to say piece of crap like it was bad, but it was bad, relatively speaking. And it makes sense why it was bad because we like teed it up to fucking blow up on the launch pad. So I have a panic attack yesterday. I'm like, dude, everything's over. My whole purpose in life, there isn't any purpose. Like, what am I doing with everything? I was actually really upset. I didn't know what to do. I'm like, what? Why didn't we have this other editor that we know could do a good job? Why didn't he do it? And you're just a fucking cucumber. You're like, Dylan, just keep venting
I'm
to
a
me.
sea cucumber.
You're chilling. You're like not that upset.
It doesn't bother
So
me.
what happens? What do you do in those circumstances? This is where I'm like,
You know
okay,
why it doesn't bother me, Pop?
tell me.
Even without the Acquihire, we've still got this incredible clipped is still like a well-oiled
sick.
machine that's running well. Okay. And then this week we still have this Ali Abdaal PTYA thing, right? So it's like, I guess when
Right.
you pit everything on one thing, you do the reality minus expectations equation. Well, yeah, it's fucked. But I'm like, Morning
dangerous.
Brew
Well-
or Clipped or PTYA, the future is fucking bright. So we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'm not like that. You're like the climate person who you're like, yeah, sure, climate change sucks, probably real, but like, what are we gonna do about it? I'm the person that's like,
And you're
no,
running around.
I'm trying to go to the fucking moon, get the people off the planet, electric cars, solar city. Like, I got to do that shit because I like comparing myself to fucking super successful people. That's who I am because I'm super successful. So I'm like, all right, we disappointed. Now we got to double down. You got to figure out a way to double wow. How do we do that? Well, one, let's just revamp this edit. Like, get another person so we can have at least a backup this time. The person that we
Learn
originally
your
wanted
lesson.
to model the edit after. Now we have those two. Hopefully that should be good now. But one edit in 2 days isn't impressive, especially if it's like just a good edit. How do we blow his mind? Both of their minds, Alex and Austin. Let's give them exactly what they'd be buying. Let's give them this pitch where we said, hey, you have a newsletter? Let's turn all those gems. You have like, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 amazing stories a week. Let's turn each of those into a 30-second viral-worthy TikTok. Okay, that's brilliant. You can embed it in the newsletter. You can put it on TikTok, put it on Twitter, whatever you want, and just instantly like 5x the amount of content from this one great story.
Organically.
So we look in the newsletter, and we're like, okay, here's a cool story on Miami. It's not the most expensive city in the world. It's the least affordable. Fucking do that math. But it's basically like
Do
people
the
spend
mental
80% of their
math.
income. It's gnarly. So we're like, let's tell this story. We see the visuals. We can see how it works. And now the idea is we come to Lieberman with the pitch and also the example. Boom. Buy us.
And a little tomfoolery. We re-up. It's like, I'm like, getting to this today. I'll have something for you tomorrow. So now we know, okay, we learned our lesson the last day. We still need to show that we are doing this in 24 hours. But to him, it looks like 48 hours. Okay. So we need to re-up that a bit. Let's tell him this is coming tomorrow.
That's why I fucking panicked.
And now we're like, okay, we got redundancy now. We got 2 people working on the pitch. We've got 2 people working on the newsletter, 2 in the pink, 1 in the stink. You've got me up to review late, you up early to review in the morning. Tomorrow, it happens. The redundancy's there. We're rocket scientists.
And that's why I panicked so much, because I was like, Alex is buying, if he has a newsletter, a daily newsletter where time is so important, that's why he loves this overnight. I'm like, if we failed the first test with time, he will not buy us. I'm like, we just made a death blow mistake in my mind. And I'm like, now
could be
he's gonna wait 2 days and get a 1-day edit, so it's even worse. It's like if we did 2 days and a 2-day edit, because I thought we had to scrap Bob's original video. I'm like, this is terrible. We can't put this out. This isn't gonna. It's gonna harm our brand more than anything, which is our one rule. But magically, Bob was able to salvage it, and also
not even magically. It's just so it's one of those things like this would never happen at Morning Brew either. Because you would be working on a brand, you'd have your brand guidelines, you know what's plug and play, you would just rip, and we can rip.
Right, we're inventing.
Not magically, we sacked up. We're like, okay, we need to tee this up. We need to give the context and give the right direction that turns this into the right thing. Now I'm confident, Bob being in the right space with that direction, Bob could rip on these all day long forever.
We also fucking took it from 16 by 9 to 9 by 16, as in landscape to vertical, and it instantly made the clip 10 times better. It was like, oh, that's tight and snug, and it feels so good. Like, that's just what we love.
Easy with the arousal. Easy with the 45, 50-minute arousal late in the game. Tight and snug. It's a clip.
Dude, it was it's a piece
clip, dude. Of multimedia.
Clips are snug, dude. So, Belky's on late night patrol. He gets the first version. He's in California time, which is like fucking, who knows, 16 hours difference.
Yeah.
Crazy difference. At like 1 a.m., he gives the approval on the 2 30-second example clips of Miami.
Rippers.
Do you want to roll me? I don't know when we should roll shit.
I have no idea when anything's going to be rolled.
Hey, well, let's just roll it over us. Actually, the sound is kind of nice. Here, we're going to play the first 10 seconds.
The least affordable city in the U.S.? Not L.A., not New York. It's Miami. Why? Because rich northerners are all packing their bags for the city bringing the heat.
And we're back. Okay.
We're back, baby. What'd you think?
I thought it was sick, dude.
Miami.
Okay. It's one of those where, like, this is a doable edit. Like, if we're setting expectations right, this is, like, the pinnacle of what we can do per clip per day. I think it could be better if we forced them to work, like, 16 hours. But, hey, we gave them 12 hours, which is pretty impressive for a new brand, too. We're like, just copy this. They did it. But here's the Bob Docto. We were most scared about this. I set the alarm at 5:30 in the morning. I'm like, God, I hope either Bob or Andrew, the 2 people we have on it, we're like, one of them has to be dope. I hope to God. Andrew only had 1 day to do this, keep in mind, and we fucking threw him like the most difficult shit in the world. What happens? I wake up and I'm happy. I'm giddy. I'm a little kid prancing about in the middle. Issa gets up at the same time. And I was just like giggling. And she's like, oh, are you happy? Because I was pretty stressed yesterday. And I'm like, yeah, I'm happy. That's good. Oh, the night before, too, I didn't get to bed till she woke up in the morning at 5:30.
That's not right.
I was just like...
That's not right.
I haven't gotten much sleep. That's why the tea an hour into this podcast is dangerous.
I had the same thing. I got up a couple hours before I normally would. And I was like, I got to check my phone. And I just saw a text from you. You were like, clips are sexy. I went right back to sleep. I was like, it's going to be a good day.
Dude,
It's gonna be a good
It's
day.
a good day. We come in, the edits.
I was like, if Pop's happy,
we had-
I'm happy, baby.
Bob's came in, dope, because he had 2 days to work on it. Andrew's still working on his. I see Bob's. I'm like, this is good enough. No matter what happens with Andrew, now I'm secure. I'm like, this is dope. Let me add a little sound design. Make it fucking cool. Boy, did I.
Clock in for
And,
overtime.
Yeah, that's a good
Making
$225
thumbnails,
right there.
Editing
I made
text.
a thumbnail. I had a lot of time
Sound
because I was
design
just waiting on
whiz.
Andrew. Andrew comes out with a banger a couple hours later. It's so
It's too
fucking
sick with it.
impressive.
It's
It's
too
so
sick
sick
with it.
You're like, I might die with this sick with it sickness.
It's also so sick with it. It's so sick with it, dude. There's a chance nobody would watch it. There's a chance it is so sick with it that it wouldn't stop the scroll to have anybody watch it. That is a problem.
It's the weirdest irony, catch 22.
It is.
It's like,
No,
this
but it's
is
great.
so dope, I can't watch it.
It's great because for like a high quality ad, which is how Morning Brew makes their money, all day long, sick with it.
So
To feel
here,
authentic and real on shorts, not so
I
much.
want to play the first like 10 or so seconds of the Andrew edit and see how wow that is. That just feels amazing. And then we'll play the full second clip because I think it's so engaging and it's instructive. People will learn.
Okay,
so
here
here's
we go.
the first one from Andrew.
Alex, Austin, we're so sick of the Wall Street Journal and their boring Uncle News. We want to build Morning Brew into a $1 billion media brand. Who the hell are we? We're the viral video company that works with the All In podcast, Will Smith, Hassan Minhaj, Naval Ravikant, and HubSpot. And we spent the last year building a team of the best super editors in the world. So how can our viral video machine 10x Morning Brew this year? Here's your plan, our actions. 1. Connect. You said people resonate more with people than brands. You need to build the Morning Brew umbrella with sub-brand featuring the world's best creators. How do you attract and keep those creators? You arm them with the world's best video editors so they connect with your audience face to face. 2. Monetize. You said advertisers are fiending for high-quality video content. You don't happen to mean here like these. And 3, grow. You said for podcasts and socials, we haven't focused on that at all in the last 5 years. You've done the heavy lifting of finding and telling amazing stories every single day, but you know you're only scratching the surface with written content. It's criminal not to remix these gems into viral videos. We found, hired, and trained 30 of the best video editors in the world, and we know exactly how to use them so you can connect, monetize, and grow. Turnkey, ready to execute today. We have the key, and we want you to turn it, not the sleepy giants at Wall Street Journal. So, initiate the launch sequence, baby.
And here's the second beauty from Bob Docto.
Alex, Austin, we're so sick of the Wall Street Journal and their boring Uncle News. We want to build Morning Brew into a $1 billion media brand. Who the hell are we? We're the viral video company that works with the All In podcast, Will Smith, Hassan Minhaj, Naval Ravikant, and HubSpot. And we spent the last year building a team of the best super editors in the world. So how can our viral video machine 10x Morning Brew this year? Here's your plan, our actions. 1. Connect. You said people resonate more with people than brands. You need to build the Morning Brew umbrella with sub-brand featuring the world's best creators. How do you attract and keep those creators? You arm them with the world's best video editors so they connect with your audience face to face. 2. Monetize. You said advertisers are fiending for high-quality video content. You don't happen to mean here like these. And 3, grow. You said for
Grow
podcasts and socials,
because we haven't focused on that at all in the last 5
years. You've done the heavy lifting of finding and telling amazing stories every single day, but you know you're only scratching the surface with written content. It's criminal not to remix these gems into viral videos. We found, hired, and trained 30 of the best video editors in the world, and we know exactly how to use them so you can connect, monetize, and grow. Turnkey, ready to execute today. We have the key, and we want you to turn it, not the sleepy giants at Wall Street Journal. So, initiate the launch sequence, baby.
Launch sequence activated.
Belky, what'd you think?
And we're back, baby. We're back. We're crushing the B-roll. Crushing the B-roll.
B-roll kings. How about that?
Wow. Okay.
I guess we could watch it, but that's kind of like a whole reacting video.
Dude, I watched it 15 times this morning.
That's the crazy thing. You know it's wow when you watch something 15 times. I'm not even in it. This is Belky's face. It's not my brand. I'm not Morning Brew. I'm just re-watching it. Belky sent it to his dad. I'm like, oh, this video's sick. I want to watch it again. Literally 15 times. Probably more, actually.
You need to curb the arousal.
Oh, dude, it keeps me alive. So those edits come out. We're stoked. I shoot it over to Lieberman in the DMs. The DMs are beautiful because it plays natively and then plus it'll loop it's just so clean. We're wrapping up. What notes, takeaways from this whole experience?
That's present day. That's present moment. That was this morning.
Oh, we'll see what happens.
Was yesterday evening to this morning. How about that? What do you want from me? Still waiting.
Well, okay. Hold on. I wrote down some stuff for lessons from what I learned.
Okay.
One. Okay, most of them we talked about. The main one is this. With the Andrew edit, the first 10 seconds, you saw that was mind-blowing. My problem is this. People don't want that. The catch-22 we just talked about. What people want and it took us a year to realize. It's just give me the person, big, normal-ass looking TikTok subtitles that's just saying what's happening because for some reason we like reading. You watch subtitles on Netflix and you can't help but read them. Put those on. A little bit of simple B-roll and sound design. That's it. Just make everything clean. The epitome with the edit that we just rolled with the Bob Docto one. The beauty of that is the extra layer. If you saw the one without sound design, it was good. I'm going to give myself all the credit too. It was good.
Fuck yeah.
But once you add these little details, that's the subconscious telling you this is world class. Bob's edit was amazing. But once you add that one little whoo, in the background,
yeehaw!
It's the heart. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to animators, especially when we're good means more animation. No, it means less. Do a lot less, but make sure every single animation is the best in the world. Every single animation. So that means when you're animating from one cut to the next, make sure that one cut is just it has some nice little subtle sound. It just slightly shifts a little bit that just makes it oh my God, I've never seen someone do a jump cut that amazingly well. A jump cut is when you hard cut. Point being, we're now realizing why the old Smart Nonsense 1.0 and 2.0, why those were failing with the 10 for 10, because we're trying to over animate. We could still do 10 for 10. I think we could, but the edit would look a lot different.
Yeah.
We'd spend, whereas before it was 90% on animation, now I do 40% just on sound design.
The problem too was
and
10
story.
for 10 wasn't enough. It wasn't enough content.
Right.
To justify the price. But yeah, we do a lot less.
So now we're just ramping up the quantity. I think we're going to see, we haven't heard back from Lieberman. He's probably having his mind blown in Colorado.
I hope.
But we'll see what happens. I'm excited. Belky,
let's cliffhang. No, that was wonderful. Let's cliffhang for Cliff
I gotta
Weissman.
sleep.
All right. Really? Okay.
Go!
Alex, Austin, we're so sick of the Wall Street Journal and their boring Uncle News. We want to build Morning Brew into $1 billion media brand. Who the hell are we? We're the viral video company that works with the All In podcast, Will Smith, Hassan Minhaj, Naval Ravikant, and HubSpot. And we spent the last year building a team of the best super editors in the world. So how can our viral video machine 10x Morning Brew this year? Here's your plan, our actions. 1. Connect. You said people resonate more with people than brands. You need to build the Morning Brew umbrella with sub-brand featuring the world's best creators. How do you attract and keep those creators? You arm them with the world's best video editors so they connect with your audience face to face. 2. Monetize. You said advertisers are fiending for high quality video content. You don't happen to mean here like these. And 3, grow. You said for podcasts and socials,
because we haven't focused on that at all in the last 5 years.
You've done the heavy lifting of finding and telling amazing stories every single day, but you know you're only scratching the surface with written content. It's criminal not to remix these gems into viral videos. We found, hired, and trained 30 of the best video editors in the world, and we know exactly how to use them so you can connect, monetize, and grow. Turnkey, ready to execute today. We have the key, and we want you to turn it, not the sleepy giants at Wall Street Journal. So, initiate the launch sequence, baby.
Launch sequence activated.